Jason here from GettinSum Restoration and Customs. This is the, I guess I haven't named it yet, but this is the 1990 Dodge Ram D150. And on this episode, actually it's a W150, my bad, it's four-wheel drive. This is the first episode of a series of me basically doing a restoration on this not so pretty Dodge Power Ram, but it happens to be one of my top 5 all favorite pickup trucks made. So I picked this up about a year ago, last spring maybe, year and a half ago maybe, and guy gave me a pretty good deal on it. I paid $550 for it, and it basically needed everything on the underside redone, all the brake lines, brakes, fuel lines, fuel pump. Tank was good because it's plastic, fortunately. But you get the picture. Everything underneath was shot. So I spent last winter getting all that stuff going, got it going, was able to drive it for the winter and part of the summer. Until, well, it never really ran that great because it's fuel injected, and one of the previous owners, not the guy I got it from, but one of the previous owners took all the emissions out of it and expected it to run good being fuel injected. Well, it didn't, and I did everything I could to get it to run the way it should, short of putting all the emissions back in it, which I didn't really care to do because, yeah. Anyway, so we're dealing with it. Luckily, I live in a non-emission state currently. So here's what I got going on with it so far. I'm doing a carburetor conversion from a fuel injected, and initially I thought it was going to be cut and dry, intake carburetor, fuel pressure regulator on the road. But then realizing that it wasn't quite cut so dry. So cut and dry. And I put everything on. Intake came with an EGR, which is okay. Problem is I'm not running an EGR. So I had to come up with a block off plate because I had kind of a hard time finding one of those as well. Got to block it off because otherwise exhaust will pour out those holes for the EGR valve. What I ended up doing to block it off is I had another EGR I took off of that, and it just so happens that most of the bolt holes lined up, and as you can see, so did the gasket. That is actually a Mopar gasket. So it's all sealed up using a GM, believe it or not, EGR valve that I cut the top off and welded the holes. So yeah, that's done. The intake is a Edelbrock Performer 318-360. I got a new one. I was trying to find a used one, but used intakes for a small block Dodge are kind of hard to find. And the carburetor I bought off of eBay used. It's a 500 CFM Carter. Carter is basically a twin to Edelbrock. Got that stuff put on there, and then as I'm putting it on, I discovered, or kind of thought, hey, it's not gonna advance the timing with the electronic ignition that it had before. Or the electronic advance. So I put a new distributor on it. That I got from O'Reilly for $75. Comes as you see it. Cap, rotor, module, everything. I got a temporary wiring system here going just to get it fired off, because I have a lot of wiring to clean up out of this thing after I'm done because of the fuel injection system. A lot of these plugs that are here are plugs that aren't going to be used any longer. We're going back to pretty basic. So next thing I got to do is I have to replace the coil, because at some point it leaked all the oil out of it, and when they leak all the oil out of it, they overheat and cut out. Yeah, they don't like to get hot. So that one's trash. I got to put that in. I have to get a new fuel pressure regulator. That one's just kind of hanging out there, plugging the hose for a minute until I get a new one, because that one there is brand new. Bought it off of eBay, which I'm not knocking eBay. I love it for many reasons, but kind of got to be choosy on the parts you choose to put in your vehicle. This one, for instance, fuel gauge is stuck at over 60, as you can see there. Hooked my line from the electric fuel pump in the tank up to it. No matter where I adjust it, it will not let fuel flow through, which is disappointing. So super excited to get that and get it all plumbed. So that doesn't work. I'm now getting a Holly, because I know that'll work. Yeah, you can see there, got a new master cylinder, new brake lines. Pretty much every brake part on this truck is brand new. And the next thing I'm gonna have to do for this conversion is, believe it or not, in 1990, the voltage regulator is located in the ECU. So I gotta figure out where all these wires are going, what they're for, and I have to rewire them to a voltage regulator that mounts either on the firewall over here, which I think if that's right, those bolts, those holes are the factory holes that mount the regulator, I do believe. So I'm gonna mount that over there and wire that up. Then after that's all done, now the drivetrain is working good. That's when I'm gonna do the tear down. Basically, I'm just getting everything working the way it should and make it a lot easier for when I take it apart, reassemble it, to have everything working the right way. After that's all done, in the cabin, boxes and fenders and all that stuff, pretty much everything on this truck, other than maybe the hood, is gonna get pretty much scrapped. It's not in very good shape. Floorboards are completely rotted out. It's held in by some sheet metal that's been riveted throughout the whole floorboard, basically. Sorry if it's not very bright. And that's about the only thing holding the floorboard in, so that's gonna stay for now. I'm sorry for my bad camera magic here. I don't claim to be a professional. I am in the market to have either some great camera help, or to see how it works out to have somebody, make a little bit to do this for me. But if you guys know anybody that is willing to help, that's probably the best way right now, because times are tough, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is the Dodge. This is the intro, episode 1. Hopefully next time I'll have a better camera action here. But yeah, it's gonna get a new cab. Actually, I'm gonna try and source everything I can used on this thing. I found a used cab that needs a little bit of work. It needs rocker panels, one cab mount. In the area I live at, I guess I can deal with that. I can buy the replacement panels to fix it up and make it the way it's supposed to be. I'm gonna try and find used fenders in a used box. But I'm realizing parts for this truck are really hard to find, and it's quite possible I might end up taking a road trip somewhere south and picking up a whole entire clean truck body and going that route. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, stay tuned. I'm thinking I'm gonna link this up on YouTube, so if I do, subscribe to my videos and watch the progress not only of me learning how to be a host on a channel, because this is all new for me, first episode. So you'll watch me grow as a host and watch the truck grow into a really awesome 4x4 pickup. Thanks again, and hope to bring you the next video very soon.